Okay, so we're going to be looking at placing images in Illustrator. So it's one of those things you're going to want to do at some stage, is to include images in your vector design. So we just have a simple document here, activity 511 start, and we're going to go through some of the processes involved in working with images. So I'm going to go to File, Place, and I'm going to choose this first image here, and you can see that I have this option down here, link. So if I click that off and I place my image, and I'm just going to drag it out, you can see up here it says Unembed, and that is your way of telling this image is actually not linked. That means the image has become part of the Illustrator document and it will travel inside the Illustrator document. So that's convenient, but it's not necessarily the smartest way to work, because if you're a designer, at some stage you might need to change images out, you might need to send them to Photoshop to do some editing, and if they're not linked, you're going to have quite a few more steps to do. So it's actually a good idea when you're doing professional work to link your images, and just make sure that you manage your project properly and that you're not pulling images off hard drives and external flash sticks and things like that. Be organized, make sure your images go into a project folder and that you know where they are. So what I'm going to do is rather link this image instead of embedding it. So I can delete it and do it again, but what I'm actually going to do is go to my links panel. So Window, Links, and here is my image, and there's a little icon indicating that it's embedded. So I'm going to click down here to relink, and I'm going to relink it to the original and press link. So now you'll see the image has got like a cross through it. That's how I can tell that this is now a linked image, which means that the original image and this image are connected, which is quite important. So what I'm going to do is size this image up and have a look at what it would look like as a background. So I'm holding down Shift to constrain the proportions of the image. So I've gone from bleed to bleed at the top. So I can see that this image is really not suitable for a portrait style document, because it's kind of a landscape image. So I want to choose another image. So I don't have to delete this and put in another one. I can just relink to a different image. So I'm going to go relink, and I'm going to choose image 2 and place. Okay, so that's a much better candidate for this particular purpose. So I'm going to send it to the back, so arrange, send to back, and then I need to crop off the sides here, but the problem is I do have a crop image option here, but if I crop the image, it's going to be embedded. It loses its link to the original image, because you can't crop an original image through Illustrator. So instead of cropping, I'm going to mask it. So if I click on mask, I can now drag this clipping mask to whatever size I want it to be, and you can see the original image is still there, it's just been clipped into this frame. And over here you have these two options, edit clipping path, edit contents. So if I click on edit contents, I can actually move that image around inside the frame until I get what I want. Okay, so I'm quite happy with that. So I need to make some adjustments to the text, obviously. So this piece of text is probably going to benefit from having a stroke on it. Let's just see. No, that looks pretty bad. Let's make it a 1-point stroke. Okay, that's better. And then this text here is definitely not readable, so let's just make it white. Okay, that looks a bit better. So let's get some practice with a couple more images. So we're going to place, and let's go with this guy. Okay, and I'm just going to drag that out there. And then this time I am going to crop it, so because it's a smallish image and I don't want it to take up too much of my computer's resources, I'm going to crop it so that it's a smaller image. So I'm going to click on crop, and I'm just going to drag this crop area down to just the dragonfly and press enter, and that is now an embedded cropped image. Okay, and that's basically it. That's how you work with images. You can do a few things with images, like adjust the opacity over here. So if I adjust the opacity of that, it's basically making it more transparent. We will cover things like blending modes later, but basically, and also under effects, you do have some Photoshop effects here, but you can experiment with those. I mean, I'm not a huge fan of them. They're pretty like cheesy effects, but basically that's how you work with images. You place your images. If you can link them, then do, because that's the best way of working. If you just want the convenience of having one document that you can take with you that's got everything embedded in it, then you would not link the documents, you would embed them. I hope you've enjoyed this video. Please subscribe to my YouTube channel and see you next time.